wonderful day. If not, I'm going to make it even better. So I've been told that the video I uploaded is a fake. I don't know how to fact check things like this. It's a problem when I'm covering news that's not from Europe or the United States. You know, I don't speak Japanese, so I can't really fact check it, but I'll look into it. If it's a fake, I'll take the video down tomorrow. So I'll have to do a little bit of digging. But it is what it is. The arguments that I made make sense. Like, if it's a fake, then he should say that. Because I do know that the argument of Mr. Popo has been made several times during the last year. I mean, I've seen it on Polygon. I've seen it on Kotaku. It's a very tired argument. And if you think about it, Mr. Popo was actually the strongest character in Dragon Ball for quite a while. Well, actually, he wasn't stronger than Kami, but he was stronger than Goku by far. And he actually helps little Goku unlock Ultra Instinct, doesn't he? Like, Ultra Instinct is not something from Dragon Ball Super. It's actually from Dragon Ball. The idea of avoiding hits without looking at them. 100% fake. It's not their way of doing things to be this blatant and direct. Man, you'd be surprised. Like, sometimes, you know, despite the fact that the culture is one way, sometimes you do find a Japanese artist that just speaks his mind. Especially the ones that have a lot of contact with Westerners. Recently, actually, there was a Japanese artist which gave a little bit of lip service to, sorry, a little bit of sass to a translator. So this translator chica, she inserts the Giga Chad meme in an anime. I'll make a video about it tomorrow, but it's very funny. Hello, Spooky. So like this, you know, translator, she puts the Giga Chad meme. And the problem with adding memes is that they don't age well, right? Like, they keep doing it for the modern audience, but they forget that the modern audience in 5 years is going to be the ancient audience. So imagine like seeing a meme in an anime with the Roflcopter, right? Like, it doesn't resonate. And this is like something that I told people that were interested in how I'm making my video game. And they were like, oh, why don't you add this meme in? Why don't you add that meme? And I'm like, dude, I don't know when my game is out. Like, if it's out in 3 years, all these memes are going to be stale. You know, like, if I make a Ben Shapiro reference and Ben Shapiro just happens to stop doing things, like... So, that's what people were pointing out to this translator chica. It's like, you can't just make memes and put them in, right? Because it doesn't make sense after a couple of years. And she's like, oh, no, shut up, I know better. And this Japanese guy, you know, who's a manga writer, just go like, they keep stealing things from us. Referring the Westerners, right? So, no, like, sometimes they are outspoken. Sometimes they do say things. I don't think, like, there are things like timeless memes. And no, I did not play Adam Hart yet, unfortunately. I don't know if Shapiro is woke. I would be surprised. A fan translation of a manga is bad about doing such things, and earlier chapters are already dated after 6 months or so. It is true, right? Like, when it comes to the internet, memes go fast. Like they come fast and they go fast. So, rage face memes, right? Like the ones with rage comics, like those used to be fun for a while, but now like no one uses them anymore, and I don't know why, because they were actually very funny. So yes, no, I did not play Atomic Heart. There's a lot of games that I want to play, but unfortunately, I just don't have time. Like, I need to make 5 YouTube videos, right? So 1 live stream, 4 videos, and then I have to develop my game. I finally got a coder, so I'm really excited about that. He's costing me a kidney, but it is what it is, right? Like, $2,000 per month, and the game development can be 6 to 8 months. It's a lot of money. I hope I get it back, though, right? Because it's an investment. So if you guys buy the game, I might get it back. But I hope I have money left for artists. That's the important thing. So I am happy, though. I am excited. Arch played all of Atomic Heart. It would be a waste of time at this point. I haven't seen Arch play. I did see Kim's crying about it. Like, Kibbs was on Twitter being very aggressive to people who disagreed with his take and pointing out that Arch liked it, which I kind of get it. You know, like when you're a YouTuber and you have a different take. Like for example, I had a very good take, by the way, of the movie Bird Box. And there was this other movie reviewer, which I don't know if he's still on YouTube. I think it was Black Pill Stack, right? And he really didn't like the movie. But I pointed out, like, no, the movie is right-wing. And he's like, no, the movie is left-wing. And people were telling me, no, V, you're wrong, because Black Pill Stack said, like, shut the fuck up. You know, listen to my arguments. I'm fucking right. He's fucking wrong. All right, I don't care if he has more subscribers than me. He's just flat out wrong. Because I pointed out how in so there was like this movie where there were these invisible demons, right? And if you saw them, like people who saw them ended up killing themselves. It doesn't matter if it was boring. I said that it was right wing. Like, you have this house and there's this bald guy, you know, which apparently is like the right winger, like he's the evil. I guess he's the evil Republican type. You know, he's got guns and stuff. And he just doesn't want people in his house. Like, he doesn't want the immigrants, right? But, like, for some reason, they're forced upon him. And he's got, like, this very diverse group. Now, what's interesting is that he basically warns, like, no, we shouldn't let this other guy in. So, what they do is, like, they lock him up and they let the guy in anyway, right? So now he's locked up in a little room, unable to do anything. And turns out that the guy they let in is actually a killer. And what does the right-winger do? He breaks out of the room, grabs the gun, and tries to defend the pregnant woman. And I'm like, how the fuck is this not a right-wing movie? Like, there is no fucking way. Like, you're basically saying, yes, right-wing guy evil, right? They lock him in a room. But then they come to the conclusion that actually, you know, he's the one that goes and grabs the gun and tries to save people who, by the way, tried to get him killed. So, I know, Bird Box, very right-wing. I don't care about the concept and anything like that. I'm just pointing it out. That theme was right. Like, the bald guy was right in every fucking situation. Every fucking moment he opened his mouth, from the beginning to the end of the movie, he was absolutely right. The diversity crew, like all the other supporting actors, flat out wrong throughout the movie. That's a right-wing movie. You can't persuade me otherwise. Can you believe Sonic has the only good IDW comic? I do not know the Sonic comic. But, like, why, though? Why is Roche the Bat at least in it? Please tell me it's in it. But anyway, I don't think that Bird Box was a dumb concept. I think it was a very interesting one. Like, the idea, it does something different, right? And I like the fact that they didn't show the monsters. Like, if they would have shown the monsters, it would have ruined that. Yeah, I didn't even know that Sonic has comics, but it is what it is, you know, like, the more I live, the more I find out, the more scared I am, so. What is Pippa doing? Is Pippa playing Atomic Heart? Bless her heart. How many subs is she getting? No, sorry, how many viewers is she getting? I keep going on, I stopped going on Pippa, it makes me salty, like, I see people from my chat that used to be regulars, and now they're on Pippa's, and I'm like, damn it, why? I mean, I see Zenith there almost every day. Like, if I want to find Zenith and I don't know where he is, I'll go to Pippa's chat and I'll find him. But anyway. What should we talk about? There's a lot of things that we can discuss today. Discussing away. Here we go. There is this app which apparently makes you look younger. And a lot of people are upset. But by saying upset, I actually mean like crying. Like, people are crying.
Fucking crusty, dusty, musty bag of bones old I am now. Because in my mind, I still look like I'm French as a fucking daisy.
So what's really interesting as a social experiment, right? So Don Lemon gets sacked from the morning show because he says that women are not considered to be in his prime after 50, I believe, right? Like, he was really stretching it there. And, you know, like, what he said is unacceptable. But you see all of these ladies that are really starting to cry as they see themselves younger.
Oh, I have so much to say to this girl. If I could just tell this girl. It's gonna be alright, bro.
This is my favorite, though.
Putting up this filter because it was trending. And I thought it'd be fun to do. But, just like everybody else, everybody asks me what that shit is on the side of my face. If you look close, they are upside down teardrops. 43. They go from my chin to the top of my head. And they're upside down. Because then, I didn't give a shit. I'm so sorry for who I was.
That's, difficult to digest, eh? A lot of ladies are like that. The things I would say if there was no terms of service on YouTube. Ooh la la. Man, if I yeah, lived experience. If I could make a video like I used to back in 2016, you know, if I had the time machine, I would take that material, put it back into 2016. But yeah. By the way, can't you actually like delete tattoos anyway? Like or do they leave like a red mark? Because I don't know how it works. I never had a tattoo. But like, yeah, the most dumb thing to do if you have tattoos is to put them on your face. Like that is like the worst thing imaginable. Another place where it's worse is on your belly or on any place that gets fat, right? So like your leg, your hips, like if they gather fat, it makes the tattoo look ugly as time moves on, right? Because like when your skin starts getting fat, it like makes the tattoo longer. But yeah, so it is that. But a lot of ladies are crying as they see themselves how they were younger. I don't know why though, because you get catcalled, you get like the patriarchy, you know, you're objectified. Like, shouldn't you be happy? Like, now people treat you as an actual person without objectifying you. No one catcalls you anymore. Like all of those sexismuses, they don't happen. They don't materialize anymore. Tattoo removal leaves temporary red burns to heal. It's like really serious sunburn that heals. Okay, so why doesn't she get that? It's really good this day, but expensive. Yeah, but like if she's a famous TikToker, like she does the TikToky, like I'm pretty sure that she can find out a way to get the body to have that tattoo removed. An app that makes you look young compared to now. I know them as photographs. Yeah, like that. It's different than a photograph though, right? Because like you can actually see yourself. And you can see yourself talking and moving, so. But yeah, like the patriarchy ain't that bad. I know a lot of feminists that are very interesting. Like when they're young, especially if they're beautiful, they're sex positive, right? So like all of a sudden they're sex positive. But as they become older and they don't get catcalled anymore, they become sex negative. I find that absolutely hilarious because I know the same person, right? And I'm, bitch, I knew when you were younger. Like, shut the fuck up. Do I know the coconut kitty? No, unfortunately, I do not know. I know multiple famous TikTokers and they're broke as shit. Well, no, seriously, if you're a famous TikToker and you don't know how to monetize yourself, then that's on you, babe. Like, there is no fucking way. If you're famous, so you got like 1 million subs and you're a TikToker, you need to know how to make money with that. And it's not that difficult, okay? Just start a YouTube channel and transition your audience. That would be one way to do it. Number 2, start a Twitch and transition your audience. Number 3, start a business and promote it. If you're a lady that's a famous TikToker, start an OnlyFans and promote it. Like, there are so many things you can do. Like, the idea that you're a famous TikToker and you do not know how to make money, dude, contact me. We'll work something up and give me 5% on that. It is extremely difficult for TikTokers. They are dense. So you're telling me they can't make an OnlyFans? Like, it's not that fucking hard. Look, if Amoraf can do it, so can you. Although, to be fair, from what I understand behind the scenes, it's her husband that made the account, so. Sonic cringes looked back at Archie Sonic. Oh, God. Transition your audience. Yes, Trurha. That's exactly what I said. Happy birthday to you, Darth Vader. By the way, my birthday is on 2nd of April. I'm curious what the Romanian government is going to bring me. It's actually very simple. When women are young and attractive, they love abusing their power. But when they're old, they see other women abusing it and they hate it. I mean, maybe, but like, it's more like you're being ignored, right? And you're not confident, I guess, right? Like, you lose confidence because, like, you know your husband is going to work and he's going to meet all those ushikushi colleagues of his that are younger than you, and you don't feel confident anymore. You're like, what if he looks at them funny? What if he covers them? I think the amount of money that TikTok sends is fixed, but I'm telling you, you don't make money on TikTok. Like, see, that's the problem. They don't think. You don't make money on TikTok. You transition your audience to another platform. You can get sponsorships. You can start a business. As I mentioned, OnlyFans. Like, there are so many freaking ways around making money that like, if you're a TikToker that has like 1 million subs and you don't know how to do it, well, what can I say? You don't deserve to make it, I guess. You know, like, it takes a little bit of gray matter. Not a lot, but a little bit in order to make money. It's so bizarre, though. It's like, how should I even put it? You manage to find gold, but you don't know how to buy a pickaxe. That's kind of how it is. Like, well, if that's the situation, then someone else is going to buy it. V makes money on shorts. Well, the thing with shorts is not to make money. The thing with shorts is to transition your audience. Sorry, is to transition the people that see your shorts to your channel. Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends. Man, like, Raid Shadow Legends is funny as fuck. So they contacted me a couple of years ago. And they're like, hey, do you wanna get $1,000? Like, you can sponsor us and you get $1,000. And I'm like, no. And then they called me again, like, hey, do you want to make $750? Like, if you sponsor us, you make $750. And I'm like, no. And then they contact me again, hey, you want to make $500? And I'm like, are you guys fucking insane? Like, you do realize that you should have started the other way around, right? Like, that's not how negotiation works. Where is Raid Shadow Legends from? From China? Is it from China? If it's from China, is that how they negotiate that? It's like, hey, do you want 10,000? No. Like, do you want 8,000? 6,000? Right, it's like, dude, if I'm not doing it for 1,000, why the fuck would I do it for 500? I don't like having sponsorships. I'm sorry. It's like, I already piss off my audience with shorts. The last thing I want to do is upset them. Sell coffee brand coffee. I don't think I can because, like, I'm in Europe. I don't think quartering brings coffee in Europe. Whoa. I know that a lot of people promoted it, but, like, that's not the thing. Yeah, $10 final offer. It's like, look. You can promote it for free, but we're not going lower than that. You know what? I'm willing to bet if they kept it up, they would be like, if you promote Raid Shadow Legends, we're going to give you nothing. And I'm like, no. And then they contacted me again. If you promote Raid Shadow Legends, we're going to take money away from you. It's like, you're going to give us $200 and promote it. You know, it goes to minus. I do believe that Count Dankula does great Raid Shadow Legends ads. You know, like, okay, so when I want to sell Raid Shadow Legends, I now know that I should go to Count Dankula to sell it for me. Get sponsored by some Germans, their machinery. I promise to sell out on the first stream. I don't know, man. Like, I haven't slept last night, so I really apologize. But, like, if you start shilling like that, there's two things that happens with shilling. Actually, three. The first thing is what Tim Pool got, right? So, and Arch Warhammer got this as well. Arch Warhammer sponsored Subverse. Right, so you sponsor Subverse, and like no one is going to look at you because you're a hentai developer, right? Like the lowest of the low. But here you have Arch Warhammer coming to you and giving you the time of day. So what do? They issue a statement that they no longer support fascism and they distance themselves from Arch, right? Now, what does this happen? Well, now you have mainstream media outlets writing pieces about Arch, calling him fascist, right? Now that can lead to a demonetization on YouTube. So in other words, right, like the brand gets pressured from activists, and then they slander you, and then the press comes and gangbangs you. So that's like one reason why I don't like getting sponsorships. And it's so fucking hilarious because it's like, oh yes, you know, like we're a hentai gaming company, but look, at least we're not racist. It's like, what the fuck cares, dude? Like, what you got PR now? You got PR as a hentai gamer? Do you think like people at the dinner table during Thanksgiving are going to discuss your game? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, they no longer support fascism, yes. The second thing that's wrong with this is that the audience is inconvenienced. So, depends on how much you like your audience. Personally, you know, I don't want to upset them. I don't want to have audience tune out during the promotion thing. And the third reason why I don't do sponsorships is that they're kind of risky. Why don't you guys tell me that? You can't see me. You can't see my facial features. They're risky. The reason they're risky is because you can end up promoting a product that's bad, right? So I'm not saying like Raid Shadow Legends, but like if you promote what was the BetterHelp, right? Like BetterHelp looked legit on the surface, but then it turns out it's bad. Like how do you even test it? How would you even like? So you get like this product which says, okay, well if you need the psychiatric help, you call our phone number or whatever. Like how do you test it? Do you get like a mental illness and then you fix it by calling BetterHelp? Super Awesome says that at work, I say in your country you're a lawyer, doctor, but my country you're a YouTuber. I always find that funny. I do not know why you enjoy my professions, but thank you. What happened to the Romanian graveyard dirt idea? It was just an idea. I never planned to go through with it. Like, the amount of regulations required to sell the graveyard dirt is very astonishing. Oh, look, Sock and Pupe is here. I still don't know how established titles is a scam. I don't care. I don't follow it. This is why I don't do sponsor content. Like, do you understand just how much of my life would I have to spend in order to figure out, like, what is scam and what isn't? This is why I just don't do it. Anyway. Let's go with the video, because I'm going to pass out in a bit. I'm so sleepy that I literally just can't. So I'm going to start the video now. If I can find it. Here we go. It's loading, chat. It's a very awesome speech. I don't know if the kid himself wrote it or someone wrote it on his behalf, but it's really good. Give me a second. Yo tomate. All right. Can you guys see it? I hope you can.
Hi, my name is Brad Taylor, and I just finished my freshman year at RHS. I've been a part of District 196 schools now for 10 years, and I'm going to give you a glimpse today of what's actually going on inside these schools. Despite the board's attempt to deny it, District 196 schools are quickly becoming a place where promoting activism is actually more important than promoting education.
I love the fact that every single goddamn time they deny it, right? Like, you get actual video evidence, and then it's like, well, fact checkers actually say. Like, if you think you're doing good for society, why don't you just admit it? Like, it's very interesting because like their ideology, like they know what they're doing is not well received by the public, but they're going to do it anyway.
I'll take you back to my first day at RHS this fall. The principal came out and gave us a heartfelt speech about equality and standing together. He began to list countless races, such as Latino, Asian, expressing how much they matter and how important they are. But never once did he mention a race or identity that reflects me.
I love how they're using he's using their language, right? So like he's not going to say, and this is very important in a debate. I want you guys to remember whenever you're talking on Twitter or whatever. There are certain things that if you say, even if they're true, the other person is going to immediately shut down the conversation, right? Like they're going to build a wall, a force field around themselves, and they're going to stop listening to your arguments. So if you're going to say, oh, well, they didn't say anything about white people, that's it. Like that's the conversation ended. Like anything you say after that, they don't listen. But the way he said it, like they don't say anything that represents me. When you rephrase it in that way, all of a sudden they actually listen because they're not used to hearing that. You know, like they're used to like hearing the buzzwords that will close the conversation. But when you phrase it differently, all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, they try to actually address you.
Or half the kids that were in the class. Now, members of the board, how important they are. But never once did he mention a race or identity that reflects me, or half the kids that were in the class. Now, members of the board, I know you haven't been to school in a while. And I know most of the people, I know none of you, or most of you, don't have any kids left in the school district.
It's very powerful from a leftist standpoint. Like, whomever wrote his speech understands leftist language very well. Basically, he's saying they're not authentic, right? So, like, they don't have the lived experiences required to understand what's going on. Because that's what the left says, right? Like, if you are that particular race or gender, then you do not understand what that race or gender experiences. So the only way to gain human knowledge is through personal experience, which, by the way, is complete bullshit. Like, imagine, but by this logic, a doctor should never see a patient unless the doctor also experienced the same illness, right? Like, you as a doctor would never be able to understand what cancer is unless you had it yourself. It's complete hogwash. But anyway, it's what they believe. So by telling the school board that you guys never don't come to school and you don't have kids here, it's basically telling them that you don't have lived experiences.
But you must admit how uncomfortable it will be to be characterized just by your skin color on the first day of school and be thought that you were wrong just because of your skin color. So I'll never forget the look one of my friends gave me from across the room as we were sitting there listening to this blatant bias being expressed in the so-called equity statement by the leader of our school. To be clear, I don't need you to tell me that I matter, but hearing the condolences given to other races and leaving just one race out, it inevitably you'll start to feel like you've done something wrong. And in our principal's attempt to unify us, he instead created unwarranted boundaries and barriers between his students, pitting us against each other based on characteristics that we can't control. In another step,
again, I'm really curious if he actually wrote his speech, because like the way he uses these left-leaning terminologies is pretty spot on. And by the way, thank you for the super chat, Christy. V gets sponsored by Vietnam Wingman, Asian brides. Man, I'm already married, so I can't. His speech actually gets better, by the way.
For instance, I was told that writing "All Lives Matter" on the whiteboard was political and could be seen as offensive. When I questioned the teacher after class, she told me that she didn't have an answer and she just had to erase it, and it was quickly erased. There are political signs all over RHS, about specific races that matter, specific sexual orientations that matter, and specific perspectives that matter. But when I questioned the RHS administration about how these signs were political, they told me that they were supporting human rights. So when I questioned why the equity statement couldn't represent all students, they told me that to even ask that question was outlandish and offensive. And when I asked why that was, they told me, quote, "Whites have a pretty good situation right now," unquote.
Yeah, it's such a, my God, like this ideology, like a couple of years ago, it was like, don't stereotype. And now it's like stereotyping. And not even that, but like, okay, so if someone has a good situation, that means you can't praise him or say anything positive. Like if a black person happens to have a good situation, does that mean like we can ignore that individual? Like it's so stupid, isn't it? Right? Like usually the way it works in my country, if someone has a good situation, you put him in front of the class and he explains how others can get into the same good situation. But anyway, it is what it is. And by the way, it's possible that he wrote this speech himself. Like I just remember when I was 16, like I wasn't okay. This idea that 16 is a child and doesn't know anything is wrong. I remember when I was 16, I was doing trigonometry with hyper complex numbers that I can't fucking do today. Like, I was, in fact, I would say that it was a lot easier for me when I was 16 because I was memorizing things faster. My mind was working faster. I don't know if it's the same for all people, but like I was really good at debating when I was 16. I understood history. I knew about World War II and many of the campaigns that took place. I don't agree. It's like, oh, this is like when Greta Thunberg came along, and it's like, oh, well, kids are dumb. I don't think all kids are dumb, and I don't think like a kid can write this type of speech.
So is that not racism? Disregarding my question merely because of the color of my skin. To be honest, after enduring a year of the people in charge telling me that I'm a racist and I'm privileged and pointing out our irreversible differences, I've never noticed race more. And it's becoming the first thing I notice when I meet someone, which has never before been the case.
This is such a powerful statement and it's so fucking true. It is so true. Like, I remember when I was watching movies and playing video games, I never noticed race. Ever. But like, after, just interacting so much with woke ideology, now I question it. It's like, oh, did they add this character in the game because it was a checkbox or it's because it's actually part of the story? I really hate the fact that I do that. But I can't help it, like I've seen just so much identity politics that it's like it's the same like when I went to med school. This is something that other people from med school told me. And it's, like one of the flaws. But you learn anatomy and then when you look at another person, you actually like see, you're imagining in your head how the nerves are going, like where the vascular system is. And like normally you don't do that, but like once you learn anatomy and you have to, read about it every day for 2 years, it comes like that, I guess it's the same with this. Like you keep talking about the shit and I see many people in the chat saying that they experience it too. And I hate it, to be honest. Like I don't want to experience it because it takes away from the immersion from video games, from movies. But it is what it is, Like, they keep talking about it, and then you can't help but not notice it.
RHS administration confidently told me that
Yeah, it's like, look, it's kind of like this, okay? Everyone in their life steals at one point, right? Like, every single person probably went to school, they had no piece of paper, there was one next to you, and you took it, right? Or you took a pencil without asking. Or, like, at one point, everyone did something like that. Now, imagine if there was an entire ideology to just make stealing the worst thing in the world, right? And make you hyper aware of it. Like, I'm pretty sure you would all of a sudden make a big deal if someone took a paperclip from you without asking, right? Like, you would fly in a rage. And that would probably not happen before. But it's due to the fact that, like, they keep hammering in that ideology and they keep going about it again and again, that it makes people hyper aware.
RHS students and staff are happy with their equity statement, but from my experience in talking with other students, this is not the case. I know many kids who disagree with their teachers, but they're too scared to stand up because they're worried that their grades will be docked and their learning experience will be affected. My honors...
I love the fact that the parents are really on board with him.
Government teacher, I'm not going to...
The original video is on my Twitter.
To say his name, but he's mentioned that Democrats care more about all people while Republicans only care about themselves.
Why would you even have this conversation at school, man? Like, I went to school, I don't know a single professor, like a single teacher. I have no idea what party they supported. Not a single one. Like, that conversation never even fucking came up. So I have no idea if, like, this teacher was a liberal or that teacher was a Democrat. I don't know. And you know what? That's exactly the way it should be.
And he's also inferred to us that socialism is better than democracy. He even had a statue. He had a statue of a socialist leader in his classroom.
I love the fact that he doesn't even know who the fuck that person is. And this is so true with a lot of socialists on Twitter, especially. Like, they think people actually understand their dumb paraphernalia and their dumb, logos and stuff. No one knows. Like, legit, no one knows. Like, the only thing they know is, like, okay, that's a socialist leader. That's fucking disgusting. Just take it away. That's literally it. But other than that, like, no one actually knows. Even this kid, which is a little bit interested, is like, yeah, a socialist leader. He probably killed people, didn't he?
I've been told by a lot of kids that they just stay silent and adjust their schoolwork to reflect an acceptable opinion to secure a good grade.
I mean, that's the problem, right? That is literally the core of the issue. Because if it was just dialogue and people were allowed to disagree, that's fine. But like the level of power that teachers have over students is insane. Like, you can fail the class, you can get a bad grade. I definitely understand why, like, students would be afraid and why it's not a free speech issue, right? Like, what about the free speech of the students? Because they don't have it, right? Like, you can't just say whatever you want in a test paper because then you get an F.
I've been approached by multiple teachers who have told me in private that they just want to say that they agree with me and they support me standing up, but they can't say it in front of the class for fear of being disciplined by the administration in some way or losing their jobs.
Imagine like a 16-year-old kid being more braver than you.
There is clearly only one way to think in this district, and that is that they are teaching their kids to shut up if they don't agree. Now, members of the board, I want you to take a good look at yourselves in the mirror tonight and ask, are you really standing up for the equality of all people, or are you just pushing a damaging political ideology on our students? A fellow coworker at my job, who by the way is of color, discreetly told me that the schools seem to be pushing a very leftist agenda in class. This proves that not everyone is happy with your school, and not everyone who isn't happy is white. Now, due to all these...
I like the fact that Tawoski agrees. It's like giving an honest analysis of the EU and you get a bad grade. Yeah. Like, that's fucked up. In my school, if you said that 2 + 2 = 5, but you could prove it, you'd get a good grade. And this was true especially for the humanities. Like if you disagreed with like the official stance, but you managed to have like good arguments and you hammered the point through, you wouldn't fail. But it is what it is. Like they're not interested in teaching, they're interested in doing propaganda.
Instances I've mentioned and many more that I can't fit in this 5-minute speech, I've decided to leave this district and continue school on a private Christian school online. And there will be sacrifices, and I will not get to walk in the graduation ceremony or attend milestones at RHS, but I will be able to learn in an environment that is not intent on punishing me daily for my skin color and political views. Now, regardless how you take my speech, whether you just shrug it off as malarkey or Fox News talking points, I encourage you to think about it, because someday I'm going to be a leader. I may be the president, a governor, or just a professional golfer. But I will never stop believing that everybody has value, no matter their skin color or personal beliefs. And it's a shame that you're not going to be able to say that I was an alumni at RHS in District 196. Thank you.
Man, just look at her face. Look at their faces. They are absolutely livid. Like, absolutely furious.
Hi, my name is Brad Taylor, and I just...
Look how angry they are. All of them. They are so angry. Look at this. Look. Look. Like, they look defeated, don't they? They look like they just lost. They know it. They know it. Thank you, Thomas, for the donation. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, like this face is priceless. Like this tells you all you need to know. Yeah, oi 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 intensifies. Oi 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 oi. Here we go. Oh, Dios mío. How much time do we got left, chat? How much time we got? We got 20 more minutes. Can I last for 20 more minutes? I don't know if I can last for 20 more minutes. I haven't slept last night. But honestly, I wanted to show you that. I don't know if he wrote the speech himself. I don't know if someone else wrote it for him. But it was like legit a very, very strong speech. Why? Because he used all the leftist talking points and he used them so well against the against the school board. He hit all the buzzwords as well. Which is why they were so upset, right? Because if you was to just say like some talking points, it's like, oh, well, you know, I felt discriminated, reverse racism. Like if you use those buzzwords, they instantly shut you down, but they couldn't do anything. Anyway, let me show you something else. Like this was a thing which was trending. So this is Tunisia's government. It intends to deport all black immigrants, and it caused controversy. And we got this gentleman. I hope you guys can see him, but he says some interesting things.
واخلاقهم تصلح بهم في افريقيا ما تصلحش بهم في تونس.
كيفاش اخلاق؟
ها؟
كيفاش اخلاق؟
اخلاقهم مش اخلاق نتاع المغرب، اخلاقهم خاصة بهم هم.
تعرف منهم شكون هكا شفت؟
نعم.
تعرف منهم شكون؟
تعرف منهم شكون؟ تاني جدي كان يجيب فيه. يعني ما يشربوا قال لنا نعرف شكون.
And this is on Black History Month, yes? Not good. Not good, chat. Not good. Not good at all. Apparently, I didn't think that the translations are real, so I actually asked some people to explain to me if what I'm hearing is coinciding with what I'm seeing. The answer is yes. So, yeah, do I have any black people in the chat? I must have. Can we point Tunisia on a map? Where is Tunisia? Let me check. Tunisia. Tunis. You can go on holiday in Tunis. Oh, it's next to Algeria and Libya. Look, now I know. I see, when I don't know how to point something on a map, I actually do look. Hey, don't laugh at me. Look, I can point Romania on a map, but I know you guys can't. It's like Tunis. It's next to Greece. Oh, I can. It's like on Africa. Is it? Naruhodo. Now I know. North Africa. Yes. That was a little bit brutal. But it is what it is. I can point Ukraine on the map? Oh my fucking god. Let me show you where Ukraine is on the map. Let me see if I can point Ukraine on the map, alright? I'll show you. So this right here, the green stuff right here, this is Ukraine. Okay? And it's important to defend it because if the Russians take Ukraine, then they can take America. So you need to defend Ukraine, chat. Like right here. This is where Ukraine is at. Like all of this green stuff, right? Yeah. What is Canada? Canada is here. This is where Canada is at. Yeah. It doesn't mean the border. I think it means the borderlands. See what I did? That's Europe, not Ukraine. Yeah. Speaking of Ukraine, we got a statement from Justine. Justine! Oh, I love Justine. Do you guys love Justine? Everyone loves Justine. If you don't love Justine, you should love Justine. Look here, you bigot. Look here, you bigot!
A year ago today, Ukrainians woke up to the horror of war in their... Hey, sir, I think Ukrainians can tell you a little bit about freedom and liberty, so why don't you settle down?
I love the fact like Ukrainians can tell you a little bit about freedom and liberty because Trudeau for sure can't. Like Trudeau can tell you about tyranny and seizing your assets with the bank. But yeah, if you want to learn about freedom or liberty, go to Ukraine. Hey, you know who came from Eastern Europe to teach Canada about freedom or liberty? And that's right, the truckers. Like, I remember when the truckers came, like, you would see them in interviews, and everyone was like, oh, I'm from Bulgaria. Oh, I'm from Romania. Oh, I'm from Ukraine. Almost like everyone. Like, it was difficult to find a Canadian there.
This is a night for them, not for you.
Ha! What is a night for you anyway? Trudeau. Trudeau. What do you give them a night? It's like, this is a night for them. How many Ukrainians are even there to begin with? It's like, God, so fucking cringe.
This is a night for Ukrainians, not for you. And if you want to stand and cheer with Ukraine, do that. You want to wave that Ukrainian flag, please do. But let people celebrate that Ukraine is still standing and Canada stands with it.
Look how angry he got. This is righteous indignation, isn't it? Righteous anger. Oh my god. You know what? Do you know what bothers me the most, chat? Because you may not know, but I'll tell you, I actually support Ukraine, okay? Like, due to the geographical position of my nation, the same way that Russia does not want to neighbor NATO, Romania does not want to neighbor Russia, simple as, alright? Like, there is no ideology involved, it's just pure geography. It's like where I'm sitting, where Russia is sitting, okay? Like, and there's also the Romanian history. Like, throughout Romanian history, Russia was not a good neighbor, alright? So, what I want to say is that I do support Ukraine, but god damn it, it's so hard to have cringe people like this on my side. Holy fucking shit. I just find it so difficult. It's like, okay, why do you single out one person from a crowd? Like, are you in a democracy? Because if yes, there are people who are allowed to think differently. Oh my god, it's just... Yes, I am in NATO. Well, it's like you're pragmatic. Of course I'm pragmatic. It's literally next to the fucking border. Like, there is no way that you can look at this and be like, oh, well, you know, I'm neutral. Like, if you're a Romanian, you can't be neutral. If you're, I don't know, like someone from France, from Britain, yeah, sure. If you're from Canada, apparently not, alright? That night is not for you. But it is what it is. He's not on your side? Well, no, he's on Ukrainian side, I guess. Hopefully. I don't know. At least he says he is. Then Russia won't want to border you either. Well, you know, that can be interpreted as a threat. I don't know. Like if Romania gets into Russia, then technically it wouldn't be a border, so... I mean, we were in the Iron Curtain, so we were a satellite state. Wasn't very good, let me tell you. Yeah, you know, like, he should have... There should be a meme where he's like this, and he says, freeze that guy's bank account. Take his stuff. Take his shit. Did this his credit score. Does Trudeau know about... I don't think... Dude, like, the idea that the left actually cares about the shit they're talking about is absolutely hilarious. Like, do you think anyone gives a fuck about, like, oh, well, in Ukraine, minorities are... Who cares? Like, this is geostrategic importance, alright? Like, that's what it's about. Geostrategy, motherfucker. Like, you get to cripple Russia at the bargain. Like, you don't even have to send Canadian soldiers there. You just give Ukraine more aid. And with that aid, they buy your shit. And that's how it works. Like, who cares about woke issues? Justine, yes. Justine. Justine Trudeau. How many years does he have in reign? Like, can he be elected like 6 times in a row? Just say that, don't say they are free. Yeah, anyway, right. I will go to bed now because I'm really tired. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you got entertained. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.